Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be on here with you guys today to drop in and share the latest because I got a really cool download this morning and I thought it was so unique in its perspective. And you know how usually in my videos I will bounce around and focus on a myriad of perspectives. In this video, I'm still going to have a well-rounded perspective, but just keep in mind that I'm just focused on one branch of the tree. All right, that's a disclaimer. It's just everything I share is a perspective. It is not the absolute truth. There are many ways to get in shape. There are many ways to the truth. You can play soccer, you can play volleyball, you can swim, you can do lift weights, you can do whatever it is that you want to get fit. There is never just one way to the truth. But I thought that this was very, very, very profound because it kind of goes against everything that we're taught in the spiritual community. In our spiritual communities, in metaphysical communities, we're taught that we have to feel our fear and heal our fear and uninstall the fear, which is very true. I talk about that as well. I think it's the most straightforward approach. Like when you get triggered, go within, ask yourself what the origination point is, and then go in there through your breath, allow yourself to travel with your breath. Imagine that your breath is like a river that's carrying you to the point of trauma, and then you're able to resolve that. Or you can just simply breathe into that point of trauma and imagine that your breath is like this beautiful, concentrated form of light that is going to give a relief to that part of you. So all of that is very true. But the reason why I enjoyed this download is because it was different than all of it. It was very distinguished. So what I got was that when we operate within 3D, within a third dimensional mindset, within linearity or a third dimensional time-space reality, we tend to be governed by time. Time governs 3D, and worry and stress and anxiety and guilt and blame and shame do not exist if time doesn't exist. Those things don't exist if time doesn't exist. In other words, when you live outside of time and you're fully aligned to your spirit, to your higher self, to your guides, to your angels, there's no reason to worry about the future. There's no reason to think about what's going to happen next because you're just flowing, right? And so from that vantage point, what if I said to you that your fear isn't to be cleared? It's actually an alert or a delivery system or a notification from your guidance system saying you need to leave this now. So say that you're in a relationship that's abusive and you feel just so much unrest and so much uneasiness. Well, that is alerting you. It's like an announcement saying, get out of there. This is not serving you. This is not where you're headed in your life. And we need you to connect with things that vibrate higher. The visual I received, which was really awesome, was that, so right now you have 3D, right? And there's the splitting of timelines, and there's 3D and there's 5D. It's a bifurcation. And most people are starting to move into 5D. A lot of people are in 4D right now. So they have 1 foot in 5D, 1 foot in 3D, and they're like, can I really trust myself to go all the way? Can I really trust myself to go all the way? But they still look back sometimes because that reality was everything that they knew and everything that they were acquainted with and familiarized with. So like anything in life, it's difficult to leave things behind. If you have a fling with someone for a whole summer and it's time to go back home, you're like, I'm going to miss you. 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 And you hang on because it's so familiar to you. So you have 3D, you have 5D. And I would say that the majority of people right now are in, I would say 4D. I got a download the other day that everyone is ascending. No one's going to be left behind. All right. So that's really auspicious. No one is going to get left behind. The only difference is that the more that you resist your own ascension, the more that you resist your own lessons, the more you're going to prolong your process of ascension. So this is not a overnight process, you guys. So if you hear anyone say you're going to ascend and 5D is going to be here in this life, well, 5D is here in this life. So it's available to us, but there's still a lot of corruption going on. So we want to be realistic with that collectively, we haven't hit 5D yet. collectively we're going to hit 4D before we hit 5D, because 4D is where we're going to bring resolution to everything, is where we're going to say, oh my God, I see my part in this now, and now I want to rectify it. Now I want to correct it. So these changes can take hundreds of years. And I'm not saying that to discourage you, because again, you're the creator of your reality, and you can truly live a magnificent life right now as an individual by working with your thoughts and building the life that you want. All right, that's the individual side of things, but there's a collective side of things. So individually, more of us are moving into 5D, and because that fifth dimensional energy has more potency to it, then it's a lot more contagious. It's going to reverberate into everything that came before it. That just came to me now. It's going to reverberate into every single thing that came before it, which is then going to dismantle those old realities. Because everything like corruption, all of the stuff, the nefarious crimes, and everything that was hidden in the darkness, in the Shadowlands, is going to have to be exposed, because that light is so potent. So as 3D collapses, more and more people, I always say, it's like, I always liken it to musical chairs, where it's like more and more chairs are being, taken out of the game, and then there's no more seats in 3D. That's kind of what's happening right now. The people who are still hanging on to the unhealthiness, to the toxicity, to the unhealthy relationships, all that stuff, they are scrambling right now. And the only reason they're suffering is because they're still hanging on to those relationships or to those jobs. There's a lack of trust of, let me jump, let me make sure I give 110% trust over to my universe. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to see what's on the other side of this, because I'm going to end up there anyway, so why not do it now? In other words, 5D is going to supersede 3D, and everyone's eventually going to be on 5D, so you might as well do it now and kind of get ahead of it, But again, you're not required to do that. You get to have the experience you want as an individual, which is why I'm saying some people will select a fantastic life where they're not really concerning themselves with what's outside of them, because they understand that that's a vibrational match to whoever it is that needs that, meaning they need that reflection. So they're not going to participate in that, because that is reminiscent of who they used to be. And yet, if it still exists, it means that it's serving someone that's out there. Okay? If, I don't know, if war still exists, well, whoever's a match to that, and still has a strong response to that, there's still a match to it, you see? So maybe they need that experience to help them ascend personally and individually, so that they can start thinking better thoughts, so that they can start aligning themselves to higher things, and then they would create their best reality. And the more people do this, the more that we reach critical mass. And the more that we reach critical mass, the more that planet Earth, her body, starts to anchor into 5D. So I can have an amazing life at an individual level, on an individual scale, because I understand the law of attraction, because I understand that the thoughts that I emit, that the frequencies that I pulse out, come back to me. I came up with this quote today that was like, the frequency you ping pongs back to you in physical form. And I love it. The frequency you ping pongs back to you in physical form. So when you understand that you are the maker of your life, then you can start to make the necessary adjustments to live your best life. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that collectively everything is hunky-dory, because it's not. Because collectively, there are still people who are suffering. There are still people who are dealing with abuse. There are still people who are dealing with neglect. There are dogs that are still suffering. There are all these things that are going on collectively. But whatever's going on out there, which is outside of my personal reality bubble, I don't feel called to go there, because it's not part of my assignment. My assignment was everything I needed to clear, was all the narcissistic relationships I was in, was all the mental stuff I dealt with. That was what I was attracting to me. And there was probably someone else out there going, oh my God, there are people dealing with bipolar. There are people dealing with bipolar, but I can't really help them. Some people can. Some people feel called to it, which is why if you align to your soul, your assignment will be revealed to you. It will be revealed to you. But I needed that experience with the doctors and with Western medicine. I needed that experience to understand that I'm a healer, to understand that I'm a reader. You get what I'm saying? But to someone else in the world, it's like, oh my God, there's so many bipolar people, poor them, which is true. It sucked and it was a very challenging time in my life, but I figured it out with my universe. But collectively, because we have to be realistic, we can't just be up here and say, oh my God, I live in 5D now and everyone is doomed. No, everyone else is an aspect of you. So we all have to ascend together. But that doesn't mean you have to have a shitty life while you ascend collectively. You can have a fantastic life, okay? So that wasn't the download I received. That was just a side note. What I wanted to share was that, what if I told you that the fear that you have isn't necessarily meant to be healed? That you're in Titanic right now in the ship and it's sinking, and the fear that you're feeling is the announcement that is being made to you by your guide saying you need to get off the ship because it's about to sink. Or another metaphor is like the plane is about to crash and you're feeling fear because that fear is supposed to be felt to show you that something is about to happen. And you need to get your safety jacket on, or your safety, whatever they call it, the safety jacket with your parachute, and get ready to jump, because you're going to have to jump into, metaphorically, 5D. And I think that in our spiritual communities, we talk about like, I'm going to sit within this discomfort and I'm going to find resolution within myself. But like, what if there's like someone that's about to come and hold you at gunpoint, and that fear is announcing to you that you need to leave your house? So I thought that was so unique and so brilliant. That maybe we don't need to judge ourselves for having fear. Maybe we don't need to fix the fear. Maybe we just need to listen to the fear. Just like an animal that's like, ding, 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 and its antenna starts to go off. Like, I think I'm about to get eaten. I need to find a refuge, or I need to find some place to hide. That's my point. So it goes back to moving yourself into 5D by abandoning things that don't serve you in the 3D. So you know that feeling you have? It's like a strong inkling when someone asks you out for dinner and you're like, I don't have a good vibe about this. Maybe you're not meant to go. Maybe that thing isn't something you need to overcome. Maybe the overcoming is that you don't go at all. Right? So kind of tying that into the 5D and your ascension and transitioning yourself. If you're miserable at a job and you don't like the way you feel, maybe you don't need to stay at the job and try to fix that. Maybe that's your universe saying, hey, this company's about to close down. You need to leave now and be ahead of it. You need to be 3 steps ahead. And I know I said earlier in the video that you're not governed by time. And that's my point. When you're in 5D, you're not governed by time. You operate quantumly now. So I don't consider myself to be governed by time. I do what I want when I want, because I've designed that reality for myself by overcoming those fears, by saying this doesn't feel good, I'm going to walk away from it, and I'm only going to follow that path of least resistance. I'm only going to follow what feels warm to me. And the metaphor I've always used is when we were children, our parents used to play this game like, you're getting warmer, you're getting warmer, you're getting warmer. Oh, you're getting colder, you're getting colder, you're getting colder, right? And then you would find the object, or you would find whatever it is that they hid from you. So I live my life that way. If something doesn't feel good, but see, years ago, it took me forever to exit situations because I was vibrating at a slower speed. And I had so much fear inside of me that I would hang on until my universe would eject me out of the situation. like a cassette player or like a DVD. Like it would eject me. So you can hang on as long as you want, but when it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. But what I'm saying today is, why delay something that is inevitable? All right. Now, the White Wing Collective are saying, take as long as you need, truly. All right. But I did say I'm just going to stick to this perspective today. Just take as long as you need. There's no rush. Everyone's ascending. This is happening for everyone. For everyone. So take as long as you need, having the recognition that you don't belong there, or that that energy isn't pleasant. It doesn't feel good to your soul. And then, start to remove that fear by staying there or by leaving and being willing to jump. But I think our biggest, where humans go awry sometimes is that they will they'll stay in situations that are truly not serving them, not realizing that they're perfect as they are. And everything that they're feeling is like an indicator that you need to get out of there. It's like the needle of the gauge has gone to the red, and you need to leave. So, and I think what we do is we blame ourselves for feeling fear, and then we think there's something wrong with us, and then we stay in it way longer than needed, trying to heal it, which you can heal the energetic charge around it. You can always heal that. I can say to you, I'm nervous about meeting someone, but I'll go anyways and heal that, kind of squash the quote unquote energetic beef. I'm going to squash that elephant in the room. I can do that, but if I can just obey and comply with that intuitiveness, then it's like I don't have to go somewhere only to come back home and say, oh, I shouldn't have gone. That didn't really nourish my soul. Engage in activities that are going to enrich your soul. And of course, it can be very, very scary to leave a situation that isn't bringing harmony. But that's where the courageous ones come in. That's where the 144 come in. All the starseeds, the way showers, the light raisers, that's where we come in. Is like, how high do you want to rank? How high do you want to go? Because that's only determined by you and the choices that you make. And that's true. Again, and this goes perfectly with what I shared before, which is that everyone is ascending, but how soon do you want to ascend? So from a place of no time, then I would say that there's no rush to ascend. Okay, but we are in time. So we still are in a physical body. And why wait to have an amazing life when you can have it now? Why wait? And evidently you're going to have all these dark thoughts that bombard you, that tell you you're never going to make it, that tell you you'll never have a bigger house, that tell you you'll never live your purpose. But if you listen to this, and rather than trying to heal it, and again, in other videos I'll tell you heal it because this is just a perspective. Rather than trying to heal it, say, oh, ding, 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 ding. It's telling me to go that way, to move away from this, because this isn't making me happy. And the more that I follow this, the less I'll feel this, because then I'll be aligned. In other words, I can't really give a reading to someone who is fully connected, because there's nothing icky in their field. There's nothing oily or anything sticky in their field. When you meet someone who's walking and they're fully in alignment, what are you going to tell them? You can't really say anything. But of course, I'm here to facilitate the ascension process for people. And I don't think anyone is less than perfect if they book a session with me, because we all have issues that we deal with. I deal with them too. I call my friend sometimes. My best friend Mikey in Nebraska, I'll call him and be like, hey, dude, I'm dealing with something. That doesn't take away from how perfect I am and how divine I am. It's just that he might have a piece of information or a piece of the puzzle that I'm not able to access in that moment. But my point, I just want to drive this point home. If someone is fully aligned, like they have no critters on them, no insects on them, there's nothing you can say to them. They're aligned. Now, if someone they seem disturbed or they seem unhappy, then yeah, there's probably something in their field that's looming over them, or hovering around them, that is like that dark mist that's causing them to feel disjointed. So anyways, I thought the download was really, really cool, which is that you're supposed to feel the fear. The fear is your friend. It's telling you you're not safe here. Someone's about to come and shoot you, or your Titanic is about to sink, or your plane is about to crash. So you're actually not safe here. Because 3D isn't safe. 3D is corrupt. 3D was fabricated on ego and power and trying to dominate people. All right, so what's coming to me now is, let's just say for a moment that all of the banks in America are going to topple in 10 years when everyone awakens and there's new ways to, invest your money or whatever. Let's say that all these banks are going to be toppling and you don't feel safe within the system. You're not supposed to feel safe within that system because all that corruption is going to get debunked. And then where's your money going to go? You're going to lose it all. So I'm not saying this to pump fear in you. It's just to draw a metaphor, which is that there's nothing wrong with you. Everything that you feel is a delivery system from your angels and your guides saying, we need you to leave this because it's not feeling good and we want you to feel good all the time. All right, that's probably an impossibility to feel good all the time, but most of the time, I feel pretty damn good most of the time. So, and that's because I don't align myself or engage in things that don't make me feel good. So 3D, this is another vision I'm getting now. So, in those action movies, you have like a bridge that's about to fall off. And there's someone in the middle of that bridge and they're like panicking and the bridge falls off and they're hanging on. And you have all these people in 5D that are like, come on, we've got you. Come on. Just trust us. And you're hanging on to this bridge and you're afraid and you look down. Well, 3D is that bridge. And it's about to collapse. So everyone around you, all the help that you can receive from like energy readers or quantum therapists, I don't know what they call them, but hypnotists or therapists or psychologists, whatever it is that you do, there's help all around you right now. And they're here to assist you in moving yourself into a higher state so that you can live your best life. But 3D is going down the tubes, and that's happening. Now, it's not going to happen imminently. It might take 20 years. But this is so good. What if you get to 5D now and you can help everyone else in 3D that needs your help, as opposed to being the one who needs the help for the next 10 years? You can get help this year, or maybe you don't need help. You just need to listen to this intuition, to your intuitive technology, and leave whatever it is that isn't harmonizing with you. And then you can be one of those people who shows the way, who is kind of giving people guidelines on how to leave 3D, how to exit 3D. And I promise you this, when you are vibrating at a fifth dimensional consciousness, you become like a magnet. So everyone flocks to you. It's like, oh my God, how are you doing this? How are you doing this? Phil, how are you able to just not book any sessions and then decide that you want to open one and within 10 minutes book it? That's because it's not a fluke. It's something I've worked on. I'm an alchemist. I was like, what kind of life do I want to lead? I want a life where I don't have stress. I want a life where I get to choose what I want to do from moment to moment to moment. And other people have messaged me as they're like, oh my God, this is insane. I can't believe that you can just open a session and you're on the phone in 10 minutes. Yeah. I've designed it that way. It's not luck, it's alchemy. We don't do luck here, we use alchemy. And we all have the capability of doing this. And how I'm able to use alchemy is because that's like phase 4 after you leave 3D. You know what I'm saying? So you have a chance right now, we all have a chance to keep up leveling every day. Every day. Why defer it? Why put it on hold? Why put it off? Like, you can do it now. I hope that makes sense. So, again, the way that 5D is going to help us move into 5D is by showing you that what you feel is valid and that it is a reality that you have to abandon and leave behind for good. You know, I always say that cavemen are not going to make a comeback. They're never going to make a comeback. That's because that reality doesn't exist. We've evolved. Dinosaurs are not going to make a comeback in physical form. So evolution is a natural progression of life. That's what happens in life. 3D, manipulation, control, trying to dominate other people, hiding things from them, that's all gonna have a huge light shed on it, and it won't happen. It won't be able to sustain itself anymore, because everyone's going to be in 5D and being like, hey, we live a transparent life over here. There's nothing to hide. And you need to get on board or be left behind. And some people will choose to have a very long ascension. It'll take them forever, which is okay. That's a valid choice too. They're going to choose the rough and the tough because they don't want to listen to people around them. And what they're clinging on to, materiality, physicality, is more important than their soul. Now, we can't fault them for that because they've been entrenched so long that they don't know otherwise. They don't know how else to conduct themselves. That's what they know. But I believe that God or Source gave all of us an equal chance to ascend. No one is better than anyone else. It comes down to choice. And this is a free will experiment. So it's up to you in the end. Do I want to listen to people? Do I want to leave a job that I'm hating and really trust that there's something out there for me? And I assure you that if you follow your spirit's directions, everyone has a purpose. Everyone. You know, from a spiritual standpoint, the purpose is to be and to love, to just be that love and to radiate that love. But in this physical realm, you have a purpose as well. That would be the mirror to that spiritual purpose. In other words, you have a soul mission on this physical planet. And when you're connected to your soul over here, that reveals itself. And you might end up becoming a nurse. You might end up becoming a lawyer. You might end up becoming or serving in whatever capacity you think represents your soul in the best way. So that's my message today. Maybe the fear is meant to be there. Maybe you're not supposed to heal it. Maybe the fear is your notification system that you need to get out of there and start following what feels good to you, what feels warm to you, so that you can find the object that your parents were hiding, which is your purpose. So I hope that this message helped you guys. And I thank you for liking, for subscribing, for sharing. And I'm glad I was able to come on today because I'm going through a lot of like weird throat chakra stuff right now. It's been ongoing for like a few months and it's fine. I'm totally fine with it. I'm actually happy because I accept that it's happening. Like I said in my energy update, I accept that it's happening and that it's a little awkward right now, but I'm also focused on the positive that I'm only going to become a better speaker in time because my guides are working on all of this, on aligning all of my chakras, and having me work with tone and having me work with sound and syntax and all these things. So I'm accepting that I'm having weirdness in my throat right now while focusing on the positive that it's only going to lead to something amazing. So I thank you guys so much, and I will see you in another version of the Now.